Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Loretta Eccles, and I am with Oceania Cruises. And we're going to talk about kind of who we are and where we're going in the world and moving forward and what makes us so very unique. And as I kind of mentioned, I've been in the industry for many, many years, and it's been, kind of an interesting year of what we've all seen and been through. So moving forward, we hope that this will kind of inspire you to think and go back to traveling. And please know, definitely reach out to Cruise Holidays and just see, kind of talk to where you can go and what you're thinking about doing somewhere in the very near future. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So one thing we always want you to think about is think about where you've been and what's on your bucket list and the places you've gone, but the places you're looking forward to. So we've kind of been thinking about, we want you to remember what you love about travel, and definitely just kind of think about that trip to Alaska that you took, or Portofino, or the Taj Mahal, or maybe you're dreaming about going to Antarctica, but just remember the future, because there is truly a beautiful world and so many places that we can go and see that's left, kind of like the next great adventure that you want to take. So who is Oceania Cruises? What do we offer? What makes us a little bit unique in the cruise industry? Because we all know there's a lot of choices when you're thinking about cruising. And I know myself, I've been in the industry for many, many years, and I've been with Oceania for almost 9 years. It's hard to believe it's been so many years. I love it, and I hope I'm with them for many, many years to come. And the great thing about Oceania that makes us so very unique is when you cruise with us, we have smaller ships. So they're small ship luxury, as we like to say. So you're cruising with hundreds, not thousands. We're known for our cuisine. That's the hallmark of our brand. So it's kind of sets us very much apart from other cruise lines. We've been voted many times in the industry as #1 for cuisine. A lot of times I'll talk to guests who've cruised with us before in the past, and they'll say, "You're the foodie cruise line." And I'm like, yes, we are. We are definitely that cruise line that goes the extra mile when it comes to cuisine. Because we know that when you travel, a lot of times it is experiencing the world through food and wine, not just through the destinations, but what you can experience in those destinations. And that kind of leads us into our curated travel experiences, because we know that the destination is the primary driver of most travel discovery kind of experiences. So we know that what you're thinking about and where you want to go, that's going to drive you to make that final decision as to what itinerary that you do purchase. So when you talk about Oceania, we are two different size. We have two different size or classes of ships. We have our beautiful regatta class, which you'll hear me refer to a lot of times as the R class ships. So it's Regatta, Nautica, Insignia, and the Serena. They're beautiful, smaller ships, carry less than 700 guests, very high guest to staff ratio. We have a beautiful design on board. These ships are light, they're bright, they have calming neutral colors, your blues, your greens, your grays, and just a lighter kind of beige tones as well. It's just very light, more open. And you'll find with our ships, we're very focused on making it feel like you're home away from home when you're cruising with us. So it's always very warm and very inviting. The R-class ships, I have to say, has some of our most loyal following. A lot of guests who cruise with us on one of the R-class come back to us many, many times because they love that smaller feel and that home away from home. You'll also find that these ships do a lot of our very unique itineraries because they're able to go into those boutique type ports as well as the marquee ports as well. And then we also have the Oceana class, which we refer to as O class. Riviera, Marina, they're a little bit larger, less than 1,300 passengers. But what you'll find when you cruise on these beautiful ships is it's actually, as opposed to where a lot of times you'll find the larger ships carry a lot more passengers, our ships, they're a little bit bigger, but that space is more kind of designed for more restaurants, more options on board. It's not necessarily by just having more people on board, it's going to be those larger, beautiful staterooms, more dining options in the evening, and it's going to have maybe our hands-on cooking classes at sea, where we have our beautiful culinary center, as well as going and sitting outside by the pool and enjoying that gorgeous day at sea when we're sailing through the water. So these ships are a little bit larger, but they still carry less than 1,300 passengers. So that truly is the great thing about cruising with us. You'll kind of see here how we measure up. So when you're thinking, maybe you've cruised with some other lines, and maybe that last cruise you're thinking was too many passengers, or you don't really want to wait in line to get off and on the ships, or maybe it's a little bit more congested on board the vessel. What you'll find with Oceania, because of the size of our ships, there's no lines, no waiting. It's easy to get on and off our vessels, and we do have a lot more access to the smaller ports of call. And that's where you can kind of see here where we fit in as the upper premium class, kind of comparing us to some of the premium cruise lines. You'll see that we are very much, as far as very small. We're actually, and kind of shows you just how small we are. So small, luxurious experience. So going on board our ships, we were talking about the way they look in the design. You can see here truly where it is more of a residential design and a home away from home feel. So you'll see that it's kind of more laid back, easy, kind of beautiful. Every space has its own look. So it's kind of more of a high-end residential design, as opposed to that cookie cutter furniture or that cookie cutter format, to where each room kind of looks the same, maybe just a little bit different. But our ships are very much where they are truly a different experience when you go throughout the ship. So this is actually martinis, great place to go sit and have a drink before dinner. If you look on the right bottom corner, that is our owner suites. It's actually designed by Ralph Lauren Home. So you'll see those beautiful, extra touches that we do to make those staterooms a little bit more luxurious. And then we also, I love that terrace cafe, which is our open, kind of more of our terrace outdoor dining, indoor, more of a relaxed casual dining option, that hand-blown Venetian glass chandelier that we have hanging up in the terrace cafe. So truly just extra touches that we offer on board our ships. Now with accommodations, we offer all different types categories. It can be anything from our standard stateroom all the way up to our owner suites, as I mentioned. So we have anywhere from 150 square feet all the way up to our owner suites, which are 2,000 square feet. Inside staterooms, outside staterooms, and then going into our veranda categories, veranda, stateroom, concierge level. If you want a little bit more, amenities included, but then if you really want to go for that butler service and have that extra touch of someone that can be there to take care of all your needs, then going into the penthouse and of course the owner suites and the Vista suites and the Oceana suites. So these are kind of the three that I kind of always try to show, because these are three categories which truly can give it that home away from home feel, but also give you all the amenities that you're looking for. And I know a lot of times when you're cruising, you're really focused on having that balcony as well, so you can sit outside and enjoy it. But all of our staterooms, regardless of the category, you're always going to enjoy our beautiful Tranquility beds that are especially designed for Oceania, 1,000 thread count linens, and the Bulgari sundries. That's in all of our accommodations, regardless of the category. And then when you go up into the penthouse suites of Riviera and Marina, you're going to have those beautiful walk-in closets. So that's another little additional touch when you go into the penthouses. So you're thinking about on board our ships, we also have our Aquamar Spa. It's a spa and vitality center. So if you're looking for that, fitness, health and fitness, I should say, you can have a little bit more as far as going up, maybe get some treatments, some massages, maybe take one of our wellness tours or our classes. And we also do have quite a few classes that are complimentary. So if you're wanting to go and join some classes while we have on board to stay in, kind of stay in shape when you're really enjoying all that cuisine and then going into the different ports of call. We are country club casual, no jacket, no tie is ever required. However, if you want to wear the jacket to dinner, maybe you're going to our specialty restaurants and you want to wear that jacket, you will be completely comfortable, but you don't have to worry about having it in the evenings. That's a great thing about Oceania. We want you to feel like you are comfortable and you're back at home, just going out to dinner for the evening. So when we talk about cuisine, this truly is the hallmark of our brand. It is what we are known for. We would rival any of the finest Michelin star restaurants ashore. We are truly focused on cuisine. We have an incredible team that actually manages our culinary experience. 25% of our staff on board is dedicated to the culinary experience. Jacques Pepin is our executive culinary director. He really makes sure that we truly do carry and always offer everything that is to meet the standards. You know, it's funny, he said in one time, you know, it was kind of a interview, and he made the statement. It was interesting, and he says it doesn't matter how talented the chef is if you have subpar ingredients. He says, you know, you just can't truly make an incredible cuisine. So he says if you have a lousy tomato, it's a lousy tomato, no matter what you do with it. So we always make sure that we source the finest ingredients. That's anything from our fruits, our vegetables, our dairy. They're all sourced locally throughout each cruise. And unlike most cruise lines, our seafood is also always either locally caught or it's freighted overnight on ice. It's never frozen. So that's another big thing that we do. And we also work with a family of fishermen up in Maine, and they source all of our lobsters. We've been working with them for many years, and they've been trapping lobsters for generations. So that really truly shows how we go the extra mile to make sure that we do provide that incredible cuisine on board our ships. So you'll find, you know, it's even like if you're wanting to go up to Terrace Cafe, as I mentioned earlier, or maybe you want to go to Polo Grill and have that dry aged steak that's been aged for 28 days, or maybe you want to go to Toscana and have some of our incredible Italian, or Jacques and have some incredible French cuisine, or even red ginger and have some of our Asian. So it truly is, depending on what your palate feels like for the day, we can pretty much take care of those different options on board. Now, and not to be, because we also know that a lot of our guests want to eat healthy. So always know that we do have a lot of healthy options. We have healthy plant-based dishes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Very appetizing, very appealing. It's truly kind of like another extension of our beautiful cuisine on board. And it's just going back to making sure that we have it in a healthy way. So that's another option for you always. Barista is our barista. We have them on board all of our ships. If you want to go grab a cappuccino or a latte, maybe have some, sit in the afternoon and have a cup of hot tea with some pastries or finger sandwiches, and they're always included. So if you want to grab a cappuccino in the morning when you're going ashore, or a cup of tea in the afternoon when you get back to have a little pick-me-up, it's always there for you. And it, as I mentioned, it's included. There's no additional cost. Now, we are open seating. We have several open seating dining venues on board our ships. And one thing to think about with Oceania, as I mentioned, all of our beautiful restaurants that we have on board, they are always included. There is no additional cost. So the only, so if you wanted to go to Polo or Toscana or Jacques or Red Ginger, there's not going to be a 25 or a 30 or a 35 or higher charge for you to go to these specialty restaurants, because that's part of the Oceania experience. We do have some private dining venues that would have a little bit of an additional cost, like La Reserve, if you wanted to go in and have a wine pairing dinner, or a Dom Perignon wine or a Dom Perignon champagne pairing dinner. Those would be where you would have a little bit of an additional cost. But all of our main dining venues and specialty restaurants are always included. So it's kind of like you have the freedom to dine when and with whom you want to at that no additional cost. We also have our beautiful sports decks. You know, a lot of times I know you're thinking smaller ships, what's included? We do have that beautiful pool on board all of our ships. We've got, you know, paddle tennis. If you want to go up and practice your golf swing, or if you want to just lay by one of our big lounge beds laying by the pool and have a nice leisurely afternoon reading a book. We have our beautiful culinary center on board Riviera and Marina. That's our O-class ships. If you want to take a cooking class, we are the pioneer of being able to offer culinary experiences, hands-on cooking classes at sea. We were the first cruise line to offer those. I know there's been several that's kind of followed us, but we are truly the pioneer when it comes to that on-hands cooking experience. We also have our guest lecture series where we'll always have someone on board that'll be offering different lectures based on maybe where we are in the world, or maybe on different, like if we're in the Panama Canal, they'll talk about the history of the Panama Canal, or maybe if we're cruising and depending, maybe if we're in Asia or if we're in Africa, they'll talk about the history of the country as well as different things that you could see and do there. And then of course, we always have multiple activities on board for you to experience, so you can get the true experience on board Oceania. Now, when we talk about our travel experiences and where we go, as I mentioned earlier, we do truly go all over the world. 7 days is our shortest cruise. 180, which is our around the world, is our longest cruise. We are very destination focused. So whether you're looking to take that trip to Alaska, maybe you want to go to South Africa, maybe South America, Australia, New Zealand, we would have that itinerary. So if it's on your bucket list, whether you're looking or thinking about going this year or the next, you know, next year or the next, we would always have a lot of options for you to look at when you're planning your cruise with us. You'll also see, maybe like if you're looking for next year, 2022, and you're looking for Europe or North America, maybe Rome, maybe the Mediterranean is the area that you're thinking about going to. Like this is one of our great itineraries. It's a 12-day Barcelona to Venice. But a couple of things you're going to notice with Oceania when you look at our itineraries is it is different than other cruise lines. You're going to find that we are very port intensive. So you're going to see out of that 12-day itinerary, we only have one sea day. And I say only because a lot of times, so many times people will say, only one day at sea. And I'm like, yes, because we want you to truly be able to immerse yourself in that destination. So you'll see you're in Barcelona, then you're in Provence, you're going through France and then Monte Carlo, and then you're going into Florence and Rome and Naples, and then Dubrovnik, Tour, and then you end in Venice. And there's a couple of things that I just want to make sure that you really see where we are truly very different is you'll notice the times that we depart. A lot of cruise lines are going to be leaving at that 4, 5, 6 o'clock. You'll see with our itineraries, we may not leave till 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. So we give you time not only all day to experience, but when all the other cruise ships leave, we're still in port. Maybe you want to go ashore in the evening, go to the symphony, the opera, or maybe you just want to have a, you know, sit and have a glass of wine and enjoy just watching the locals or go to dinner. You'll also see that we do overnight. So like in the end of the cruise, you'll see there's an overnight in Venice. So you get into Venice, you have all day, you can enjoy, see the sights, then you go back to the ship in the evening. You're not going to be leaving until the next day. So you don't have to get off, go to a hotel, check in, do the sightseeing, and then make, you know, unpack to repack, to unpack to repack again to go back to the airport. So a little bit different is how we kind of do our itineraries. So when you're looking at this itinerary, as I mentioned, if you're going to Rome, maybe you want to go to the Pantheon, or maybe you want to go to Trevi Fountain. So there's so many things to see and do. And it's kind of like a little helpful hint. I've been to the Trevi Fountain many times, and one of the things that always amazes me is this is one of the oldest water sources in Rome. It dates back to the Roman times. I mean, it still sources, back then it actually sourced the Roman baths, but it's like incredible that after all these years, it's still such a beautiful sight to go and see. And they have the legend of the coin. So when you go, you throw a coin into the fountains, and they say if you throw one coin, you know, you'll return to Rome. Two coins, you'll return and fall in love, and then three coins, you'll return, fall in love, and marry. So, but the great thing about when you go and you make your wishes or you just throw the coins in is all those coins actually go to charity. So when they actually go back and kind of clean the fountains out, they do. That is a way of kind of giving back to the area. So it's a great little kind of just a little tidbit of when you're going. But maybe you've been to Rome, maybe you've been on this, maybe you're looking at that itinerary going, I've been to Rome before, or I've been to Venice, but we do some very unusual tours. So one thing you'll also find with Oceania is we go the extra mile to offer a different experience. So we offer something called Go Local tours. And they're smaller groups off the beaten path, away from the crowds, beyond the sightseeing, you know, the main traffic of everyone trying to go see the same things. But if you've been to Rome before, maybe you've been to the Colosseum, maybe you've been to Trevi Fountain like me, and you want to do something a little different. So this is one of our black truffle discovery tours. So you literally would go out with a local truffle hunter who's specialized and trained with a trained hunting dog that finds these truffles. They go, they sniff them out. We actually, the truffle hunter, you know, retrieves the truffles, and they kind of look like, you know, little really rough potatoes, like the bottom corner there, or in the bottom middle picture, I should say. And then we go back, we take them to a local restaurant, and they clean up the truffles, and then they prepare an incredible meal, and it's served with local wines. Like this picture, you'd be in Rome, so it's in the Roman countryside, but maybe you're in France, in Provence, and we would do this kind of experience as well. So you'll find with Oceania that we do know that our guests are very well traveled, and sometimes you've been to places many times and you're looking for something a little different. And that's another thing here. Maybe you've looking at itinerary, maybe you've never been to Croatia, so you're thinking about going to Dubrovnik and you want to see that beautiful walled medieval old town, and you want to walk the wall and maybe have lunch on the wall or go down and kind of experience some of the old town. But maybe you've been there before. So this is a tour it's one of our wellness tours by Aquamar. You can go over to Lochram Island, which is just a short scenic boat ride from Dubrovnik, and you can truly kind of that's kind of like your wellness experience where you can maybe do yoga amongst the, you know, 100-year-old olive trees, or just experience something that's a little bit more low key, more relaxed. And this is something that's much more into the health and fitness side if you're looking for that when you're on vacation. So this is yoga at Lochram Island in Old Town. So this is something that's very easy to do from Dubrovnik if you've been there before. Now, maybe you're looking at going to Venice and want to cross that beautiful Rialto Bridge and maybe do some shopping or have lunch in the area. This is a great itinerary, 12 days, Jerusalem to Venice. You'll also notice with this itinerary, very, very port intensive. You're in port literally almost every day. You've got one sea day, but you also have two overnights, Jerusalem on the beginning and Venice on the end. So you can truly kind of see both those places. You're going into Ephesus and Rhodes, and once again, you've got Dubrovnik on this itinerary as well. So truly you can immerse yourself. If you're in Venice, you know, everybody wants to go to beautiful St. Mark's Square. They want to see the Doge's Palace, and then they want to cross the Bridge of Sighs. So, and you can kind of think about Doge's Palace, which is very Gothic kind of style, but it was where it was the former Doge's residence, seat of the Venetian government. And the Bridge of Sighs, you know, that's everybody wonders about the history here. And if you've been and you've crossed the Bridge of Sighs, it's kind of like it got its name because it was basically it was the walk where those who were going to be incarcerated for a very long time had to cross the Bridge of Sighs because they were actually going from the old prison in Doge's Palace to the new prison, which crosses the canal. So it's kind of like when they crossed that bridge, they knew they were going to be incarcerated for a very long time. So that's where the sigh came from. But it's kind of a huge history to be able to go and see and walk around in the area with, of course, the being able to see St. Mark's Square. But maybe you've been to the Med many times and you're looking at doing a little bit something unique as well. So we also have like our Ireland experience where you can go up and you can do a Dublin round trip, 8 days. You can go in and truly experience everything there is to know and to experience in Ireland. If you've been to Ireland, one of the ports, you're wanting to do some of their beautiful Irish cooking or experience some of that Irish cuisine, we have a culinary discovery tour, which is at the Ballymaloe Cooking School, which is near Cork. That is a great tour to take. It's that true farm to table experience where you can experience and see everything and then have a 3-course lunch. And maybe you want to stay close to home and go to see Alaska. Maybe you want to see that wildlife and really get out and experience the beautiful Northwest as well. We have a 10-day, which is Seattle round trip, but you'll see it goes through Icy Strait Point, Juneau, Skagway, Sitka, goes into Victoria, have late night departures here as well. So you can go in, maybe see the Juneau ice fields or Skagway and ride the train. Or maybe you could do an evening excursion here, kind of behind the scenes with a local. This is another one of our Go Local tours, and go to a microbrewery or go somewhere locally and have dinner. And we all know Alaska has those long days of almost complete sun, so it really allows you to see and do everything later in the day. But if you're kind of thinking still about 22, maybe late 22, you're looking for something a little bit more exotic, we already have out our tropics and exotics for 22 and 23. If you're looking for Asia, Africa, the Caribbean, South America, Australia, New Zealand, we have several different ports of call for you to kind of look at. So for 2023, 22 through 23 winter is what we call it, which is our tropics and exotics. We just actually opened this a few weeks ago for bookings, anywhere from a 7-day to a grand voyage of 77 days. We have 127 new itineraries. Several of our itineraries will have overnights, 284 overnights, 272 ports of call. So a lot of new things coming for us in 23. Maybe you're thinking about going to Japan. That's a great itinerary, which is actually Tokyo round trip. You can go to Kyoto, Hiroshima. So lots of different kind of truly immerse yourself in going to Japan and do a kind of just seeing everything there for a 10-day cruise in the springtime, of course, of 23. Maybe you're looking at going to Hainan, Vietnam. This is a beautiful place for you to also see. This is an 18-day Tokyo to Singapore. You will find that a lot of our itineraries in the winter months do tend to be longer. We have found that our guests really like to go and immerse themselves so they can truly see everything there is to see in an area, and they can check all those places off their bucket list. So 18 days, April 22nd, once again in the springtime. This has Hong Kong in it, Shanghai, Hiroshima, Taipei, and the Saigon, and then down into Singapore. Maybe you want to go to India. Mumbai is on your list. So here's a great Mumbai to Bangkok, 14 days, 2023, February the 5th. It's got going down Mumbai, going across over into Phuket, then down, of course, to Singapore, and then back up to Bangkok. Beautiful itinerary, great ports of call. You would be able to really see a lot of different places in a short period of time with that 14-day itinerary. Maybe you're thinking about Cape Town, South Africa. Maybe that's on your bucket list. So we have our Cape Town round trip, 12 days. You can also tie this in with a Kruger National Park safari. We also do those as well. So you can kind of get the full effect of being there and seeing everything. And I can tell you, I was in Cape Town. I've been to South Africa. It's an incredible experience, and I definitely highly recommend doing a safari while you're there. Doing in the beginning or the end, it's a truly great experience. Maybe you want to go to Rio, of course, Brazil. We have, now this is a great new itinerary for us. It's 20 days, Buenos Aires to Santiago, but we are going to cruise Antarctica. I actually was able to go to Antarctica a few years ago, incredible experience. But with us, we're just going to be cruising the waters. We're not actually going to be touching the continent, but you can still go down from Port Stanley into Half Moon Island, Paradise Bay, cross the Drake Passage, back up to Ushuaia, and then back up to Santiago. So a great itinerary, lots of different places for you to see and experience. And we do truly anticipate this will sell out very quickly. So if you're interested, book this very early. We've got the January 18th and the February 7th on the marina in 2023. Another great itinerary for or South America is if you wanted to maybe go to Machu Picchu, you can go in, we have an overland tour, then you can fly over into Lima, and then we would have a Lima to Miami 18-day. You can come up through Lima, Central America, then of course up and into through Cozumel, Costa Maya, and then back into Miami. It's an 18-day itinerary. And then maybe Sydney or Auckland or Milford Sound is on your itinerary for 2023. That's a great, it's on your bucket list. This is Auckland to Sydney, 14 days, January 30th. It's a beautiful itinerary. Actually, was very fortunate. A few years ago, I was able to do this. This was about 5 years ago. So we did Auckland to Sydney, the same itinerary. It was incredible to be able to go into Christchurch and then Milford Sound and then over to Tasmania and then up into Australia. And then we ended in Sydney and spent a few days there as well. So a great itinerary to be able to really see a lot of areas in a very short period of time to immerse yourself. So as I mentioned when I was talking, we do a lot of overland as well. So as I mentioned with the Cape Town round trip, you could tie in a Kruger National Park. Maybe you're doing Buenos Aires and you want to go in and see Iguazu Falls. Or if you're doing one of our Asian itinerary, we also have several that would take you and be able to go into Angkor Wat as well. We do offer over 3,000 different shore excursions. So anything from our culinary discovery, go local, wellness, evening excursions, food and wine, as I was mentioning throughout the presentation. So depending on when you choose that right itinerary, then you can actually go ahead and start looking at the different types of shore excursions that we would be offering as well. So you can truly get that full experience when you cruise with us with over those 3,000 choices. Now, when we talk about value, that's the great thing about Oceania. We really do shine in with what we offer. 2-for-1 cruise fares, that's free round trip airfare from major gateways with a choice of one that's from our O-Life Choice package. So when you cruise with Oceania, you do the O-Life Choice amenity program, you get the free round trip airfare, the free airport transfers from the airport to the ship, from the ship back to the airport when you do the O-Life Choice package, and then you would get a choice of free shore excursions, free beverage package, or free shipboard credit. So you get a choice of one. So we're a little bit more inclusive. And as I mentioned earlier, we don't nickel and dime you. We include the internet, we include the specialty restaurants, the 24-hour room service, the shuttles from port to city center. So a lot of times when you go on other cruise lines, you maybe have to pay a $10, $15, $20, transfer from the ship to the city center. With Oceania, if we're not walking distance, we'll provide a shuttle service. We also have free fitness classes on board. We have free still and sparkling Viral water, free soft drinks, specialty coffees and teas. All of our non-alcoholic beverages are included. Free laundrettes available as well if you need to do a little bit of laundry while you're on the cruise. So there's a lot of amenities that we offer. So if you've cruised with a premium cruise line in the past and you're looking at Oceania for the first time, you may look at our price point and say, but you're so much more expensive. But the one thing to remember is we include so much more. So you're going to maybe pay a little bit more to get on board Oceania, but you're going to pay a lot less to get off, which is truly kind of a different way of it's just a more inclusive experience. So you don't have to worry about being nickeled and dimed while you're on board. But also remember, your there's a lot of advantages of making your reservation and booking your Oceania experience with Cruise Holidays, because Cruise Holidays is one of our preferred partners, but they're also a member of Travel Leaders Network, which is another supplier partner of ours as well. So on select departures, they're going to have voyages that would offer prepaid gratuities. Now, prepaid gratuities is anywhere from a $16 per person per day up to $23 per person per day, depending on what category you book when you cruise with us. So if you book that penthouse, it's a 23 per person per day value. If you book just a, if you're thinking about just a veranda category, it's a $16 per person per day value. So lots of different values and lots of ways to kind of increase that value when you book with Cruise Holidays in Oceania. They also, with Travel Leaders, have some distinctive voyage dates. That would be voyages that would offer that shore experience cocktail party on board host, which is part of their Travel Leaders amenities, and that's on select departures as well. But to thank you for joining us today and for spending, a little bit of your time with us, we do have a booking incentive. It's going to be from today, March 22nd through April the 5th for 2 weeks. It's on all published sailings. It's a $200 shipboard credit per stateroom, category veranda and above. It's not compatible with the Travel Leaders benefits, but it would be applicable to any other voyage in 21, 22, or 23. And always remember, you can book with confidence. We do have our best price guarantee program. If you book now, there's any public promotion we have later, there's a price difference, we will make it up to you. Whether it be an upgrade or the difference, we will make you whole. And as we all know, health and safety is on everyone's mind. Just know that we are continuously working and striving, working with the CDC, moving forward to make sure that we have all the current. We're always making sure that we do everything that we need to do to make sure that our guests are safe on board our ships. Anything from testing, screening, vaccines to we've upgraded our air filtration system with new atmosphere air filtration, which is a new type of bipolar ionization. We also have our plans in place to respond and be able to handle and execute. We're also working with our excursion team to make sure that when we're in ports of call, that we're always making sure that we provide the best health and safety protocols there. And of course, the primary focus is always making sure that our crew and our guests are safe. So we encourage you, if you ever have questions in regards to our health and safety protocols, to go to our website, oceanacruises.com/health, and you would always find the most current, up-to-date information on our website. So with that, I just want to thank you on behalf of Oceania Cruises and Cruise Holidays for coming today and for listening to our presentation, and just know that you can contact any of the travel advisors at Cruise Holidays. They will be more than happy to give you any information and also to make that reservation for you in regards to your future cruise with Oceania Cruises. And we're going to kind of turn it. I was going to see if anyone, let's see. Just want to say thank you so much. I was just going to check to see if anyone had any questions. And it looks like we are all clear. So thank you so much for joining us today. I truly look forward to having you on board Oceania Cruises in the very near future. Thank you.